Hi there, I'm Derek Silversides with the Saskatchewan Snowmobile Association. We're going to talk a bit in this video about the SSA, its history, and snowmobiling in the province in general. But before we do that, I want to make one thing very clear. Most of this information pertains to a typical year in a normal season with normal rules. But this year, as you well know, has been anything but normal. This year there are new regulations and rules in place in all our shelters, on our trails, and, well, across the entire province. I'm talking, of course, about COVID-19. This year, you'll find on every shelter a list of new rules and regulations. We want to make you aware that our shelters and facilities are not subject to a scheduled disinfection. We ask that you please stay home if you're sick or experiencing symptoms of illness. We'd like you to please practice social distancing, maintain a 2-meter distance between extended household groups. Use hand sanitizer, avoid overcrowding, and make sure you're always up to date on the most recent public gathering limits. We ask that you please bring and wear a mask inside all shelters and anytime you interact with other snowmobilers on the trail. And lastly, do not share food and drink. We ask that if you bring anything in with you, please take it out. There's an increased risk that comes along with our clubs having to handle things like recycling and trash this year. So please keep in mind as you watch the rest of the video that the following information speaks more broadly about general information in a typical year, when this year, as I'm sure you're well aware, has been anything but typical. We ask that before you head out anytime on the trails this year, you first check the latest COVID-19 guidelines and regulations. So enjoy the rest of the video and have a great snowmobile season.
Hi, I'm Leah Switzer, Executive Director and Trail Fund Administrator for the Saskatchewan Snowmobile Association. Since 1971, the Saskatchewan Snowmobile Association has been dedicated to providing strong leadership to its members and member clubs, to promote and encourage recreational snowmobiling, and to establishing and maintaining quality snowmobile trails which are to be used in a safe and environmentally responsible manner. With 50 snowmobile clubs signing and grooming more than 10,500 kilometers of trail to a provincial standard, the SSA is dedicated to promoting, improving, and growing recreational snowmobiling in Saskatchewan. Safety is and always has been a top priority here at Sask Snow. We offer safety training and information across the province. You need to register your snowmobile, and this can be done at any of the 350 issuers across the province. You will receive $200,000 worth of third-party liability insurance. This means you will have protection in case you cause property damage or injuries to someone else. If you are from out of province and you are looking to ride in Saskatchewan, all you need is valid registration and insurance from your home province.
Hi, I'm Ro Dennis with the Saskatchewan Snowmobile Association. Snowmobiling is a great way to get out and enjoy our province. The snowmobile clubs of Saskatchewan work very hard to make the provincial snowmobile trail system possible. When you register your sled, the insurance premium provides you $200,000 liability insurance. The $110 registration fee goes into the Saskatchewan Snowmobile Fund, which is administered by the Saskatchewan Snowmobile Association. These funds are distributed to the clubs, covering only about 60% of their operating costs, including trail grooming and shelter construction and maintenance. Clubs and volunteers raise the remaining funds through various events and sponsorships. Thanks to the efforts of these clubs, people in Saskatchewan have access to an extensive, well-maintained, and affordable snowmobile trail system. The SSA encourages you to get out snowmobiling and join your local club to support snowmobiling in Saskatchewan.
Hi, and welcome to beautiful Regina Beach, Saskatchewan, home base of the Saskatchewan Snowmobile Association. I'm Jennifer Schneider, Office Manager at the Association, and part of my responsibilities are the coordination of the safety programs. The Saskatchewan Snowmobile Association promotes safety as a year-round initiative. We do this in participation throughout the year through safety weeks, our annual snow show, television, radio announcements, billboards, and also through our classroom and online safety training. Anyone born January 1st, 1989 or later is required to take snowmobile safety training in Saskatchewan, regardless of whether or not you have your driver's license. The Saskatchewan Snowmobile Association is able to deliver 2 styles of instruction to students ages 12 and up throughout the province. The first one is our classroom safety training. To take a snowmobile safety course in the classroom style, all the general public needs to do is give the office a call, select a date that works within your community, and I take care of the rest. Once a date is selected, we contact one of our certified snowmobile safety instructors and begin promoting the course. The cost is $75 per student or $155 for a family of 3 immediate family members. The course time for classroom instruction is roughly 6.5 hours. It's a hands-on opportunity as well as an opportunity to have discussions. There is a snowmobile that's brought in for a static demonstration where the students learn how to check the belts, check the spark plugs, and any other components of the snowmobile. The online snowmobile safety course, hosted by Fresh Air educators, has been available through the association since 2012. We have trained over 6,000 students through this course. The cost of the online snowmobile safety training course is $44.95, and all you need to do is visit our website at sasksnow.com, click on the Safety tab, and select Online Snowmobile Safety Training. Once your information is entered in, you have paid, you can start taking the course immediately. This course is offered to students 365 days throughout the year at any time that is convenient for them. If a student chooses to take the online snowmobile safety training course all at once, it takes roughly 3.5 hours. Otherwise, they have the luxury of logging in and logging out as many times as they want. Once the course is successfully completed, you're able to print off your temporary certificate and a permanent card will be mailed to you. As everyone knows, there are many health benefits to snowmobiling. And as you continue to ride and have a great time throughout the season, we encourage you to make good choices. Never ride impaired, never ride alone, and wear the proper protective gear. It can save your life.
Alright, now that you know a little bit more about the SSA and what we do, let's take a closer look at the trail system in general. As mentioned previously, Saskatchewan is home to more than 10,500 kilometers of fully signed and groomed trail, and it's all groomed to the same standard. What that means is no matter where you ride in our province, it's all going to have the same signage, the same rules and regulations, and it's all going to be the same quality. But before we can get you out there, we're going to need to find some trails in your area. And the best way to do that is to head to our website, sasksnow.com. Once you've reached the Sask Snow website, we have a couple of options for finding snowmobile trails in our area. The first of which is the old school method of print maps. Simply hover over the maps and club info and select the zone that it is you're interested in riding in. Here we'll find a list of all the clubs within that zone. If we click on the name of the club in our area, we'll be taken to a club page. That club page has the club's contact information. This information can be useful for things like snow conditions in the area, or better yet, if you're wanting to volunteer or become a member of the club. And over here, we'll find the club's maps and kilometers. Simply click on Trail Map PDF, and a Trail Map PDF will open. And you have the option to save this PDF to your device or print it directly from the browser. On this map, you'll find everything you need to know, trail numbers, shelter locations, fuel, even towns and dealerships. The second method of finding trail in your area is the new and improved interactive trail map. To view the interactive trail map, you can simply hover over Maps and Club Info and select Interactive Trail Map. You can click the link down here, or you can click directly on Maps and Club Info and scroll down to Interactive Trail Map. Here you can also find links to the zones and the mobile app, which we will touch on next. Loading trails. and welcome to the interactive trail map. Here you can see the entire province's trail system at a glance. Populating the interactive trail map, you'll find various snowmobile-related services and points of interest. Of course, these can be toggled on and off for your viewing pleasure. That kind of gets rid of a bit of the clutter. And we're left with the trail system and the grooming status. If we zoom into an area, we can see things in much greater detail. Now, you might be wondering what each of these colors mean, and what exactly is grooming status? Well, you see, inside each and every one of our groomers is a GPS unit. That GPS unit sends data directly to the interactive trail map. This means that as a groomer goes out and grooms a trail, it's going to update the grooming status in real time. Green trail signifies trail that has been groomed within the last 1 to 5 days. Yellow trail is trail that's been groomed in the last 5 to 10 days, and orange is 10 plus days. Over time, the trail is going to automatically change color. Trail will never deteriorate to closed. We have to manually close trail. So if a trail is red, it could simply mean that that club has not opened their trail yet, or it could be due to a hazard or reroute. Now, hopping back to services, we're going to turn a couple of these on just to show you how they work. So if we were to click on one of these shelter icons, a box pops up with more details. The same can be said for things like fuel, food, and accommodations. Things like a website, address, phone number, and a brief description. Even an image. Now, hopefully all of these details can help you plan your trip. Now, this brings me to the last thing I want to touch on, trip planning. If we zoom in on an area, we can click the Plan Your Trip drop-down box. This allows us to drop 2 points. Point A, point B. The interactive map is going to tell us the kilometer distance between these 2 points. Of course, if you're planning a little bit more complicated route, you can add a 3rd destination, a 4th destination, etc. The interactive trail map automatically updates, providing you with a detailed breakdown of your trip. And, most importantly, a total kilometer distance. This information can be very helpful when traveling into new areas you're unfamiliar with, or on longer rides where things like fuel management become an issue. The ability to plan your trip, get exact kilometer distances, and see things like fuel stations and shelters along the way all make the interactive trail map a very powerful tool. But it's important to note that it's not without its limitations. Being that it's hosted on a website, it requires a constant internet connection. And that's where the Sask Snow mobile app comes into play.
Alright, so how exactly do you snowmobile? Well, unfortunately, most of that's going to come with experience. But of course, there are a few basics and some general info we can provide you with to make sure you're fully prepared for that first ride.
Now, every sled is a bit different, but we can pretty much rest assured 2 things. The throttle is on the right and the brakes are on the left. The throttle is operated with your right thumb and the brake is gripped with your left fingers. You'll also find a red square engine stop or kill switch that is used to stop or kill the sled. You're going to need to disengage this switch before starting your sled again. Things like headlights and hand and thumb warmers are usually located near each other on a small control panel kind of box on the left side of the handlebars. Most sleds these days have reverse, and this is often found in this same area. Be sure to check what all your sled is capable of before heading out. As for how you start your sled, that can vary a lot depending on the make and model. Some sleds have a key, some have a push-button start, and others are pull start. Some snowmobiles have a combination of these various starting methods. Once you've hit the trail, it's important to utilize hand signals, especially if you're in a group. But they're also used to signal oncoming riders, who may be riding in their own groups, as to how many of you there are and whether or not you're the last of the oncoming traffic. The basic snowmobile hand signals are as follows. A few more tips for you. When turning, be sure to lean into your turns to avoid tipping your snowmobile. When crossing roads, always come to a complete stop and only cross at a 90-degree angle perpendicular to the road. When crossing the road, you should be riding in a standing position to ensure the best visibility. Of course, there are other times when standing may be preferable to riding seated. In fact, there's a few different positions you can utilize when riding.
All right, all of that is just a brief overview. Our snowmobile safety course goes into all these topics and many more in much greater detail. If you want to sign up for a safety course or just learn a little more about it, you can head to our website, sasksnow.com.